Wow, this is bony. I've seen bonier, but that's pretty bony. This reminds me of that time that I carved a cow rib cage into a marimba. Which is a longer story for those that don't know it, but... Oh, those are some nice bones. There we go. There we go. You know about that one? Yeah, that was a traumatic time. I realized that the person that I made that for actually still has it. And it's been 10 years since I made it. I went into their music studio the other day. And, still has it. Still uses it. It was a marimba that I made literally... Well, I may as well, since we're literally crawling on bones, I'll tell the story. So, I was an intern at a place trying to make my way in the music industry. And we were working on a big movie with yellow people. And, there was a prehistoric scene. And the person I was interning for was like, hey, it'd be cool if we had like a marimba that was like made out of bones for this prehistoric scene. I was like, yeah, absolutely. But he said it like kind of jokingly. And so then I went online and I found something called theboneroom.com. Okay. Which don't type that into Google, please. But essentially it's a place that sells bones. Okay. And I was looking for a bone that could be turned into, you know, a musical instrument. So it has to be some pretty large, beefy bones. Okay. And yeah, at first I yielded some other websites, and that's not what you want. But I found the one, and it was this lady that sells them, essentially. And so, but she had multiple options, and she started texting me all these different things. After I inquired about it, she was like, here, I have a choice between dog bones, between cow bones, between emu bones. It looks like an emu bone. What the fuck? What kind of exotic thing is this? And then I started getting feet pictures from her. She sent me a pic, but she was using her foot as scale. So she put her foot next to the bones because I needed to know how big they were. It just gets weirder and weirder. And so, you know, I'm getting these messages, and my coworkers are seeing these my family are seeing these feet pictures next to bones, and they're like, what kind of weird shit are you into? Anyways, so I find the thing. It's basically a cow bone, okay? It's a cow bone. And so or a cow rib cage, I should be more specific. And so I was eating Special K for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I had no money. And so she was like, we basically have two services. We can ship you the cow rib cage, cleaned or uncleaned. And I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean uncleaned? And she was like, exactly what I said. I was like, well, what's the price difference? And for an uncleaned is $50, which, you know, thinking about it, that's like freaking, I don't know, what, 25 boxes of Special K? And then the cleaned version was $150. So I was like, well, you know what? Just give me the clean, the unclean version. I'll do it myself. She's like, are you sure? Like, yeah, it's fine. And at this time, I'm living with 5 people from Hong Kong on an air mattress in a living room, in an apartment here in Santa Monica. Oh, God. And so, you know, a couple weeks goes by, not seeing anything, but then a giant box arrived, that has, like, liquid seeping out of the bottom of it. And I know what it is, and none of my roommates are home by some miracle. So I take this into my house, and I open it, and holy shit, I kid you not, it's literally a cow rib cage with all of the meat still on it, but like rotting flesh, rotting black chunks of meat. And so I'm like, what the fuck is this? Anyways, so I rip the freaking rib cage out of the box, and it's like almost as big as me. It's gigantic. I mean, not as big as something else I know, but, and so I take this thing and I throw it into my bathtub. Okay. And I pull out my Texas, buckshot, or my Texas, buck knife, and I start carving away. at the freaking, at the rotten meat carcass. And chunks of meat coming off of this thing. And I'm like, oh, throwing up because it's so disgusting. And all my roommates start getting home while I'm doing this. I'm just in the bathroom for hours, carving this freaking cow rib cage. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. I promise this is a true story. And so then, you know, I realize it's not coming off very well. So I'm like, well, what if I freaking turn the shower on? Maybe it'll make the meat fall off a little easier. And so I turn the shower on, and it makes the freaking rib cage come alive. Oh my God, it was so much worse. It was so much worse. And so I sat in there, I kid you not, for about 6 hours, carving meat, rotten meat off of this thing. Oh God, it brings back traumatic memories. And finally, I got it to a place. My shower drain was completely clogged. I had to call a service to come and unclog the meat from my shower drain, and try to fix my bathroom. And so I yielded a semi-cleaned rib cage that I then carved into a marimba, and we use it on a big animated film. It wasn't like it was even in the movie, it was in the soundtrack. And so, you know, but it did sound kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. And then I almost got kicked out of my internship because I was drilling into the ends of the bones to have a way to drill it into like a soundboard kind of thing. And as I was drilling out in the parking lot, all of the bone dust was flying onto the campus manager's car next to the German man. And he came out because he saw me on the security camera. He's like, "You're getting bone dust all over my car." And I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know where else to do it." Anyways, but it did get used on the movie, and it was pretty cool. It was an experience, to say the least. And I set an impression and ended up pretty much getting a job because of it. So that was kind of cool. Anyways, long story short, I carved a cow rib cage into an instrument that was used on a movie. And I'm not gonna lie, there's still some meat on the ends of those bones that I didn't tell him that it came uncleaned. I just couldn't get all the marrow. I'm not like gonna start like sipping it up or anything. I don't know how to get it out of the crevasses. So there's still some areas I'm like, oh, that's just the natural skin coloration. Fuck! Fuckity fuck! Fuckity fuckity fuck duck! Fuckity fuck my duck! No! 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 No!